How long is it? How fast can you get up there?
If you were moving the whole time, it'd take you 10 minutes.
Oh, so it's a ways.
I don't even think it's that far.
10 minutes?
I saw your video on it.
How long was the video?
I don't know.
5 minutes?
Maybe.
It felt like 30.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Each Adventure channel. My name is Josh, and today we're out riding to Margarita Peak. This is one of our weekly hump day rides, and I'm riding with a bunch of adventure bikes today. Mostly adventure bikes. We got a couple 650s, KLR 650s, got a couple XR 650s, got my DRZ here. I think I saw an Africa Twin, a KTM 690, and some other bigger KTM. Well, anyways, this is a pretty good adventure bike route, and I've actually ridden this route before. And the last time I rode this route, I made a little video about small adventure bikes, and this was around this time last year, and it was right around the launch of the CRF250L Rally. I don't think the Versys had come out yet. The BMW was still a ways off, and so I spent a little bit of time talking about, you know, what my ideal, you know, adventure bike would be. If you follow this channel, you know that I'm a fan of small displacement bikes, and when I recorded that video, I was actually riding my CRF250L, and so it turns out I didn't end up getting any of those bikes. I got rid of my CRF250L, and I'm riding a DRZ 400. That was not planned. It was just kind of me taking advantage of a good opportunity, you know, kind of downsizing my bike stuff right now while I try to reach my financial goals, my goal of being debt free. So I wanted to kind of revisit that topic now that all of those bikes are out. You know, just kind of want to see where we're at today and what the future may hold. So first of all, let's talk about the 250L Rally. The 250L Rally is essentially a CRF 250L with fairings and a windscreen and a little bit better suspension, bigger throttle body. So out of all the bikes, I was least excited about the 250L Rally. Well, let me back off a little bit here. Getting very dusty. Dusty. Kind of sweeping back here with some of the slower guys. I'm slower myself, so you don't mind. But anyways, you know, I was least excited about that bike, and to my surprise, it ended up being probably one of the most popular of the three. I don't know why. I think it was because of the small adventure bike craze that everybody was eating up the Rally, because out of all of them, it is the most off-road worthy. But like I said before, you know, coming from a CRF 250L owner, you know, it kind of felt like a bit of a softball. If they would have made it like a 300 or a 350 and still being able to keep that kind of 250L platform, that would have been freaking amazing. That would have been probably one of the best small adventure bikes out there. I'm hoping it did well enough to spark Honda to do something about the 250. Because if you know anything about the CRF 250L, it's based on the CBR 250R's engine. And the CBR 250R has since been replaced by a 300. And so what I'm hoping is that we'll see like a CRF 300 or something. That would be ideal. But for now, you know, we'll settle with the 250L Rally. Now the Versys is probably my favorite out of all of them. It's the one I had been considering since I first heard about all these new small bikes. And it's one of those, I don't know, like, it's just weird. It's a weird bike. It's a parallel twin. It's got an over 4-gallon gas tank. It's got the spoked wheels. You know, it makes 39 horsepower. That's pretty impressive. I know most of that power is up top in the top end, but if you ride as much highway and street as I do, having some of that extra top end power might not be such a bad thing. So ADV Pulse, which is one of my favorite motorcycle publications, they did a review between the Versys X-300 and the BMW G3 Ten GS. Out of the two, they picked the Versys as their favorite due to some of the reasons I just listed. The larger gas tank, the extra top end. They said even for the suspension being, you know, about 5 inches of travel on each side, they said the way it was sprung actually felt better than the GS, which has about an inch more suspension on both sides. So, and I've heard this from not only ADV Pulse, but the review that Fortnite did on it as well. I can't see, man. I can't see. Oh! Watch out for those branches. Chuggy chug 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 chug. Ow! So all of them, out of all of them, that's my favorite. And if I had to choose a small adventure bike today, that'd probably be the one that I chose. Because from everything that I've seen, I mean, it'll eat this stuff up no problem, and then still have, you know, the fuel range to do some serious road adventures, serious off-road adventures out into nowhere. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So since we mentioned the GS, let's talk a little bit about the GS, because I thought the GS was probably one of the most unique bikes. You know, the fact that it has that weird flipped around engine with the header coming out the back, that's pretty cool. I don't understand why more engines aren't designed that way, but it probably has something to do with maintenance. I don't know how hard it is to get inside that engine and do valve clearance checks and stuff. But the initial reviews of the GS seem to be really good as well. There's a guy in this group that actually has one, and he seems to like it. He says it's, you know, definitely not an off-road bike, but it's really fun on the road, and it's capable enough in the dirt for this kind of stuff. It does have a decently sized tank, so I believe it's 2.9 gallons, 2.8 or 2.9 gallons, so that's not bad. But you know, that's also what my TT250 had, and it cost half as much. But you know, some of my concerns with the GS were, you know, kind of its street bike look, number one. Number two was those cast wheels. The initial kind of reports from, you know, when the bike was first launched was that BMW was going to have spoked wheel options. Now, I haven't seen those, but what I did see is the Rally Raid kit for it, and that's freaking cool. Like, I wanted to go buy one that day when I heard that that Rally Raid was making a kit for it. And if you're not familiar with Rally Raid, you know, they make, you know, customization parts and all that kind of stuff for adventure motorcycles. But one of the ones they're most well known for is their Rally Raid kit for the Honda CRF250L. And that basically turns it into a full-fledged adventure bike with spoked wheels and better suspension and armor and all kinds of stuff. You know, that's pretty cool, and that's one of the things that I'm hoping to see for the Versys. You know, maybe not from Rally Raid, but, you know, maybe some type of better suspension components or something along those lines. But yeah, I'm excited that it's out, and it hasn't been very long. It's only been a couple months since it's been out. So what I'd like to do is, you know, be able to ride each one of these bikes and kind of formulate my own opinion, but don't quite have that ability yet, but we'll see. So the fourth bike on my list last year was the CSC RX3. And, you know, you could argue that bike was kind of the bike that started the small adventure bike craze, which, I mean, really it is. But the reality of it is that, you know, all the bikes, the RX3, the Versys, the Honda, and the BMW, they're all world bikes. They're all designed so that every single one of those manufacturers can sell them around the world. Because if you know anything about the global motorcycle markets, 250s and below dominate. Like, they dominate because people use motorcycles, you know, as transportation, and they don't have high-speed highways and that kind of stuff like we do here in the US. So, but the RX3, I mean, I'm really impressed by it. I mean, it's been out since, what, late 2015? I'll have to check my date on that, but, you know, most owners really love it. Most owners do own multiple bikes, but, you know, most owners really like it. My buddy Matt owns one, and he's actually going to let me borrow it and do some reviews and stuff on it, so I'm very excited for that, actually. I can't wait to do that. Get back to my Chinese bike roots. But the RX3, man, it's, you know, for being a Chinese bike, it has really proven to be a good value. Now, I did see the Everrad review on the RX3, and for the most part I disagree with Tyler, just because, you know, if you're reviewing it as a dual sport, then yeah, I could definitely see his point. But if you're reviewing it as a small adventure bike, for what it comes with and for how reliable it's been, I've had some people leave comments saying that theirs ran for, you know, 40-50,000 miles before they have really any issue with it. And that's pretty impressive. So some of my complaints on the RX3 from last year was that it didn't come with the 19-inch front wheel, and CSC actually addressed that this year. It comes standard with that one, so that's pretty cool. It also comes with ABS this year, but they did raise the price, which is kind of a bummer. We are here in Margarita Peak.
How long is it? If I can get it.
If you were moving a little minutes.
Oh, so it's a ways.
I don't even think it's that far.
10 minutes?
I saw your video on it.
How long was the video?
I don't know.
5 minutes?
Maybe.
It felt like 30.
All right, we're trying this attempt up to Margarita Peak. Oh God. Well, I didn't make it very far. Next time I'm making it to the top. I was overheating in my jacket. I dropped the bike off to the left side of the trail, and then I realized that the camera had flown off. And so I took that as an omen that I probably should stop and save that for another day. So we're heading back down the mountain now. And there's one bike that I wanted to talk about that I didn't talk about last year, and that is the Royal Enfield Himalayan. That one just launched here in the United States. I know it's been out in India for a while and probably some other countries, and so far the reviews have been pretty good. So I was actually excited about today's ride because Jesse actually got a Himalayan for himself, and I thought he'd be riding it today, but he's riding his KLR, so I didn't get to see the Himalayan today. But he seems to really like it. He's put quite a bit of miles on it already, giving it some off-road treatment, so we'll get to see how that one kind of holds up here on the channel as we ride with Jesse on these flying monkey adventure rides. But the Himalayan's kind of unique. You know, it's a 400cc, but it's not a kind of a dirt bike like the DRZ is. You know, it's more of a kind of like an off-road cruiser, I guess. It lugs. It's got a very luggy engine. If you've ever heard it, it's just like glug, 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 glug. It's pretty cool. It doesn't have that high of a top speed though. I know it'll top out probably somewhere between 70 and 80 miles an hour because it's only got, you know, somewhere in the mid-20s for horsepower. I think 25 or 26 horsepower. You know, but for an adventure bike, that's all you really need. You know, I mean, yeah, it definitely helps to be able to hit 80, 85 miles an hour on the highway, but it's, you know, it's not something that you need. So, you know, even though it's a 400, its top speed is right around those of the higher revving 300s and 250s. So, time will kind of tell. Royal Enfield's not known for having the best quality, but then again, neither were Chinese bikes, and we've kind of seen how reliable the CSC bikes have come to be. So it's kind of a cool time for small displacement bikes. And you know what I'm hoping for is that they do well, and we'll continue to see other manufacturers push the market with small displacement bikes. You know, but hopefully they'll improve on the designs as the years go on, and kind of address some of the shortcomings that some of these bikes have. You know, you really can't go wrong with you know, bikes that are, you know, right around $5,500 and below. You know, people target them as being, you know, beginner bikes, but they're not. They're, you know, they're more practical motorcycles than, you know, like a 1200 GS, you know, which is awesome, you know, don't get me wrong, but at a third of the cost, maybe more than that, you know, it's definitely more practical for, you know, not only long adventures, but for everyday adventures like we do here on this channel. So those are my thoughts. Well, what do you guys think? Have any of you guys, I know our audience is a lot bigger than last year, so have any of you guys had a chance to ride any of these bikes, and what do you think of them so far? What I'd like to do, hopefully by the end of the year, is get a chance to ride each one. I had signed up to do a test ride for the BMW, but the dealer never called me back, so kind of a bummer. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for today. If you like this video, please leave a like down below. And if you're new here, please subscribe. We like to do adventures like this on a weekly basis, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. So until next time, guys, be sure to have fun, take care, and ride safe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, make sure you get out there and have adventures of your own. And I will see you guys next time. Later! Whoa! Almost lost it.